Hello lovely people, Kitten here. This month's video in our technique is all about the purl stitch. We're going to look in depth at the purl stitch, how it works, and luckily I filmed this before my latest flare up, so I'm just having to do an introduction now. It's a bit rough and ready, there's not a lot I can do about it right now. I don't know what we're going to do next month. If it clears up and I can work, we're going to be doing combining knit and purl, as in rib and moss stitch. If it's not next month, it'll be the month after. It's completely out of my control. Have a look at the video. It should be pretty self-explanatory. If there's anything, any comments you want to just leave me a question in the comments and stuff. We'll cope, whatever. Have a look at the video. Right, we will start off with the super chunky again because I think you might be able to see the anatomy of the stitch better. I've had quite a bit of positive feedback for the knitting one and the cast on one, saying it's really helping people understand why stitches do what they do. So go back and check those. We're looking at purl. Just cast on a few because we don't need many. Stitches fairly close to the end because you want to slip them off easily. Hook your yarn either there or there. If my hands get sore and tired, I might go there, but not very often. 9 times out of 10 it's there. Just around the fingers there. Keep it tight. That's all you need to do to keep your tension. Now with a purl stitch, you're taking the point of the working needle, you put it under the yarn. That always confuses people, because people do that and then there's nowhere, where's the yarn? Under the yarn, point of the needle through the stitch, just ease, these 2 fingers are holding the needle, thumb's holding the stitch in place. The yarn isn't being dropped by the hand, it's staying in the hand. This finger is putting the yarn round there. That's all tight under there. Through, slip it off. Your yarn's already in the front here for you. Point of the needle in. Yarn around the needle. It's kind of a pull it forward a little bit, bounce against the yarn, dip it down through that gap. Let me see if I can we go a little bit closer? Okay, so the point of your needle is going through here. The yarn is going round. Okay, ready? You're dipping down and taking the needle backwards like that. Point of the needle. Everything there is rock solid. It's been held between the pinching of these 2 fingers, the thumb and this finger here. This yarn slips forward. This hand with the yarn slips forward. Round the point. Gentle pressure, and with that point of the needle is going down and dipping, taking it back. Let's go back to normal. Now that means when you pull the stitch off the needle here, the stitch is at the front and it gives you the bump at the front. Go back and watch the knitting one. You'll see how the bump gets at the back. That action of pulling the stitch back through puts the bump at the front of the work. Okay, so when you turn bumps, turn round, flat. Now, way to tell if the stitches are on the right way round, if you've had to, oh dear, pardon me, if you've had to do any unpicking or anything, it's exactly the same as with a knit. The side of the stitch that you're working to will be in the front. I don't know what I've done there, never mind. Remember, needle under the yarn, that puts it at the front. That's your stitch. When you come to work your stitches, this bit is slightly in front. I probably can't, oh, I don't know, that's pretty good, isn't it? This bit is slightly in front of the back. It speeds things up because your stitch is right there in front of you, ready to be worked. You can also tell if your stitch is in the right place, if the stitch is, I'll turn one round for you. If you've unpicked several rows, put your stitches back on. If you come here, the back of the stitch, the back line sticks out further than the front. So it makes it awkward to do it. So you just turn it round and it's back in the front again. So there you go. You're doing your purl all the way along. Weirdly enough, you're getting the same effect as if you did every row knit, every row purl. Because there's your row of bumps, there's your flat bit, which is exactly the same, but it's all purl instead of all knit. I've never done anything in all purl because it's more work. I've never come across purl into the back of the stitch. You could do. You would do that. Don't know that I've ever seen it anywhere, but that's what you would do. It's a bit awkward, but if you purl into the back of the stitch, it has the same effect as knit into the back of stitch, turns the stitch around. Purl two together. That's the same trick there, like that. That's your super chunky. Goes up really quick, really easy. This is our chunky. We are switching down to 6mm. Still just as easy, still just as quick. Point of the needle behind. See that? Point of the needle behind. That's the same if you start. You don't very often start a row with a purl. Quite often, if you're doing that, it will say to knit the first stitch, and that is just because it makes a neater edge. You get a line, a tidy line up the front of your work. Don't matter, it's not the end of the world. You can get just as fast knitting purl stitches. It's weird, isn't it? You knit, and you knit purl. Working purl, perhaps we should start saying working purl. You get your speed up just exactly the same way. And once you've mastered it, and you've got your knitting stitch cracked, that's it. All knitting, I keep saying this and people think I'm crazy. All knitting is knit stitch, purl stitch. You can do different combinations of it. You can take the yarn backwards and forwards to create weaving and holes. You can move stitches around to create cables, but it's all just your knit and your purl. Rewind and go through many times as you like, and it is just sitting practicing. It is sitting practicing. This is super critical for your tension. There is nothing going on there. It slips through. You would expect to hang on to it really tightly. You don't. Honestly, that's enough. That's enough. The friction in that cubby hole between the two fingers. You just want to keep it tight. Get your needle into the stitch, onto the body of the stitch. Look at the end of the needle. Look how it's constructed. When they're new, they are very sharp, particularly the small metal ones. And then it gradually goes bigger to about there. That's quite a distance before you get into the body of the needle. That is 6 millimeters in the diameter. That means if you cut it in half and you measured from one side of the other to the other, it'll be 6 millimeters. I think that's what it means. But anyway, this is the bit that makes the size of the stitch. So you don't have to pull it. It just has to sit around it neatly, like that. Let's check that. No, it's got to be, and it can't be 6 millimeters all the way around. Perhaps it is. Perhaps it's in a 6 millimeter circumference. Do you know, I don't know. Isn't that weird? Never thought about it. Anyway, the point is, it's the shaft of the needle that gives you the size, like that. It's got to be diameter, hasn't it? Because if that can't be 3 millimeters round the outside, it's got to be across. Gotta be. That's what I've always thought, anyway. Throw a curveball in there and confuse the whole universe. So you just plod along. Watch your first and last stitch. They have a tendency to get a bit baggy because you relaxed at the end. So make sure when you do your first stitch, it is sitting around the needle and not slopping about all over the place. You'll get a better edge. This is probably why you do a knit on each end. Okay, so that is your chunky. You can still see very clearly your flat bits and your bumps. I think that is all purl work. As I say, looks exactly the same as... Right, I'm going to take 5 minutes and get my breath back here. This is our double knitting. It's on a 4 millimeter. If you work on relaxing your hands and letting the needle do the work, you will find that you won't need to mess around doing tension squares, compensating if your work's too tight. If your work's too tight, it's not fun, it's not a pleasure, it's a fight to get the point of the needle through every stitch. And it doesn't... Ooh. Eddie wants to play. It doesn't sit evenly because the yarn is fighting with itself. So work on relaxing, getting the yarn round. I think chaos might break out in a minute if these two want to play. No. Shall we have a little look? That's the new one, bless her. Settling in. settling in. It's a lot of hard lessons to learn, bless her, but she's doing okay. We'll be quiet, chaps, just for 10 minutes. Yeah, just give me 10 minutes, sweeties. Too hot to go out, you just have to settle. I don't know what the weather's going to be like when this goes out edited, because I'm filming a couple of weeks ahead. And it is scorching. It is August out there, I tell you. This weather has no idea what it's doing. There we go. This is probably the most common you'll be doing, is double knitting on 4mm. If the work's too loose, if you keep dropping that, some people, it's so uncomfortable to see that they're doing this, and they put that round, and then they have to hang on to it, and they have to pick it up, and then they drop it. You've got no consistency here to keep it even. If the work's too loose, it's got no body. Body is the thickness and the stability of the piece that you've worked. It doesn't last. It droops and bags, and it doesn't hold its shape. So anyway, all that roundabout performance was telling you to work on your tension, relax. The most important thing is you just relax. There's nothing in this world that's happening that you need to think about. You just got to relax. You can't, it's doing it. It's doing it. The process is the doing of it. Not, oh, I'm going to see how quickly I can knit this jumper. That's not what we knit for. That really is not the reason we knit. Even I don't knit like that. Very few professional knitters around these days. And they're mostly, might be judgmental of me, but they're mostly older ladies who have perfected the technique and don't have to think about it. It's not ingrained. It used to be much more ingrained in the body than it is nowadays. So let your whole system relax. Point in, round, little flick back. Point in, round. What did they say? Stab it, strangle it, throw it off the cliff. So just a gentle little flick back. You've pulled this forward, you've just flicked it back. This then tightens the yarn around the needle, controls your tension. No picking up, no wasteful movements. It's all very streamlined. Once you've been doing it for a while, these fingers get to learn where the stitches are. That's where your speed starts to pick up, where you can really start to get going. But there you go. As I say, you won't be doing row and row and row on purl. This is just to show you the anatomy of the stitch, what it looks like, how it sits together, and the effect. See? You can see. We'll have a little 5-minute look, well, not even that, at the finest. I tell you, going from super chunky to 4-ply is just a nightmare. I've got some of this to make a very simple cardigan with contrast sleeves and edges. I don't know if well, once you get used to it, it's all right once you're in the rhythm of it and you're used to it. Your hands learn to expect what's there. Your hands, your muscles like the familiar. This is how you learn dance routines and songs. It's your muscle memory. They like routine, they like what's familiar. Chopping and changing from one thickness to the other this quickly like this. Really weird. So I've broken this series down deliberately into very, very small chunks. The next one we are going to look at combining a knit stitch and a purl stitch, to work rib, to work moss stitch, which are actually exactly the same thing. One is just offset. And to work the most common thing you'll probably be doing, which is stocking stitch. Plain knit. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, pardon me. Pardon me. Yeah. Thanks, Ed. Oh, dear. Out the way. Wiggle to under. Plain knit is called garter stitch. A row of knit and a row of purl is called stocking stitch. I am not aware of any term for every row that's purl, probably because it's garter stitch, and like we said, technically it's all looks exactly the same. But it's just a way of controlling the bumps and where you put. It's very sculptural, very architectural. Knitting is very architectural. You're building. They are your bricks. Okay, that's your 4-ply. So that's this month's. Any questions, drop me a line. Next month we'll start to combine the stitches, and if you haven't seen the cast on and the knit, go back and do a recap of them. Really useful to have this information so you can understand what's in front of you on the needle and get more complicated in your stitch work. I'll see you soon.